You are watching Influence Media, PSI TV, the Netflix of BizBrand.
My guest today is Ronnie Ashmore. He is a multi-published author of more than a dozen thrillers. He is a retired veteran police and a two-time chief of police. He started his law enforcement career as a jailer and worked his way up through the ranks. He writes novels, including crime thrillers and westerns. He has the ability to give his characters an authentic voice and a sense of reality. Hi, Ronnie. Thank you for being with us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, Ronnie. So you have a new book out, Texas 1857, Birth of a Gunman. It's a Western adventure. And this follows behind several other crime-based thrillers. Ronnie, how did your law enforcement history play into the stories of the many books you have out?
So I have two police mysteries out, and the rest of them are westerns because the Old West has always fascinated me. Grew up watching all the old shows and reading the books, and always felt that I wanted to tell stories like that. So that's how that influenced it. The police side of it kind of gave me the insight into the personality, how to describe people and things. That's a nutshell answer.
Yes, and I would assume that the criminal mind is a criminal mind, right? So now you're retired, and what prompted you to use your retirement years to write, well, it's an interesting way to spend your retirement. A lot of people are bored or get into trouble, so at least this keeps you on the right track, right? So Ronnie, some of your older books on Amazon have a 4.5 to a 5-star rating, with several people saying how much they enjoy your writing style, the characters, especially how you develop your heroes. Tell us about this particular book, but for protagonist, Birth of a Gunman, the protagonist, Johnny Cole.
Well, he is a young kid who is growing up in Texas in the years preceding the Civil War, and he witnesses a lot of violence and a lot of tragedy. His parents are killed for their beliefs on what they think about the war effort, and he comes of age in that violence. And he's really shaped by what he has been through, and it kind of leads him down a dark path as he grows up. And the book stops when he is about 19 years old or so.
So is there an element of history built into the novels as well?
I try to be as truthful as I can to the time frame of which I'm writing on anything. With a Western, nobody knows what a Western town looked like because they're all gone. It's not like when you're writing about a modern day thing that the reader can go there and look. So I can set up that town as close to as I need to make it work in the story, but I try to be truthful to the facts because you don't have a right to play with history that way, with the facts of the matter. And the facts aren't always black and white or cut and dried. There's a lot of gray in there.
Yes, there is room for the creative influence, but I do appreciate your wanting to keep that historical context. That's absolutely fantastic. So right now, Ronnie, you're retired, you have the option to travel. Is there any particular location that fires up your writing juices, or can you just write anywhere?
I can write anywhere, but I really love being on the beach around the water and just relaxing and trying to tell my story piece by piece that way. I do most of my writing early in the morning, so I can write anywhere though.
Well, for those creatives of us, that's not always the case. That's good for you. So, you have these thrillers. There are Western movies out there. There are thriller movies out there. And a lot of these stories come from books that have been written in the past. And, let's just wave the magic wand here. If your book, Birth of a Gunman, or, that's the one I'm particularly interested in, but maybe there's another you have a feeling for. If it became a movie, how would that make you feel? And who would you see as playing, or what's the nature of the characters that would bring your people to life?
Well, I don't. I wish they would make them into movies, of course, but I don't know much about the modern young actors and stuff of that nature. I think Zendaya would play a great Lula for Birth of a Gunman. She would be the female
Protagonist. Yeah.
person in that. And as far as a guy, the casting director would have to find somebody that could portray brutality and sensitivity and stuff of that nature for a young kid, young growing up male. I don't know who that would be.
Would it be like a thug type mentality, or more like one of those gentleman criminals, the white collar criminals?
No, Birth of a Gunman, he's pretty much set on his path. He's a young kid and he's mad at the world for what he's been through. So it would have to be somebody that could portray that. And there's plenty of them out there. I just don't know who they are.
Wow. So Ronnie, you've published all these books, a whole bunch of them, more than 12. I think I've counted maybe 14 or 15. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? Is there another book in the making? What's in the future for you?
I've always got one going. I've always got one I'm working on. I try to work on 3 at a time.
Wow.
And so the writing schedule is pretty tight. And I don't have really anything to add except I'm on all the social media stuff. So if they want to reach out on Facebook and Instagram or whatever, I'm there.
You're there, that's for sure. And but as far as a website, we don't have one. So we're going to invite, if you're wanting to touch base with Ronnie, maybe you want to, put him on your podcast, or you want to, do a book club or something. RonnieAshmoreBooks@gmail.com. Ronnie gave me permission to give out his personal email. So guys, feel privileged on that. RonnieAshmoreBooks@gmail.com. Ronnie, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.